Hey everybody, it's the York Sports Report Show. Today is Game 3 between the Hawks and the San Jose Sharks. Antti Niemi can still stand on his head for this game. Sharks going to be in trouble. Sit back, folks, have a laugh, have a cheer. It's time for the York Sports Report Show. The Madhouse on Madison tonight in Chicago will be rocking for your Chicago Blackhawks. Live at 7:30 from the United Center tonight will be Game 3 between the Sharks and the Hawks. Whoever scores that first goal, it's going to be huge tonight. It's the York Sports Report Show, folks. Relax. Enjoy.
Thanks for coming back. Got a little sidetrack there. Was watching the Joe Quenneville comments there this morning after the game day skate. And the one question again was asked by one of the media people there in Chicago. Would it be obviously nice to get Marian Hossa going? And Quenneville's response was more or less, it would have been nice to see Hossa get the empty netter last game, and whether it's empty net or not, when you get a goal for some reason, there's a little bit of a synergy that goes through you, and then maybe that kind of boosts the confidence, whatever. But again, not to reiterate over and over and over, but when your coach and your other players on your teams are just more or less talking, hey, whether he's scoring or not, he's being effective, he's being responsible on both ends of the ice, he keeps the puck down in the offensive zone a lot of the time. Hossa doesn't have to score right now for the Chicago Blackhawks to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, he is playing unbelievable lights-out hockey right now. And you go to Bolin, and here's something, Bolin was coached by, I think it was the Hunter brothers, Dale and Mark. Those guys were like the biggest pests on the ice. And I mean, he's playing physical, he's back-checking, he's being responsible. And Bolin can score. In his junior days, Bolin had some decent numbers. It's great and grand that Bolin is playing effective and responsible as well as Hossa, but these guys can flat-out score too. I mean, I'm not saying Bolin's a Marian Hossa in that scoring sort of category, but if either of these guys chip in a couple more goals, I just don't see who's going to beat the Hawks. Again, the only team that as I'm watching the other series, Montreal's fast when they want to be. I don't know if Montreal can keep this pace up even against the Philadelphia Flyers. I know they won last night. It was a convincing win. But playing at that level, that's what you have to do night in, night out for the playoffs. You can't take more than 2 nights off in a series. At this pinnacle point in the NHL, the Western Final, Eastern Final, doesn't matter. You can't take more than 2 nights off. You take 2 nights off, you're going to lose 2 games. We've seen it with the Canucks. I know there was injuries, and now there's some real reports coming out that, yes, Ryan Kessler had some injuries, Alex Burrows, all that stuff. The hit by Bufflin on Alexander Edler. Edler is out. I mean, if they were to play hockey today, Edler's not in the lineup. High ankle sprain, something like that. But I mean, the Canucks, the Sedins, they kind of disappeared for a couple nights. And I knew going into the series for the Canucks, in any given series, if the Sedins were to take off more than 2 nights in any series, they were done. And they did against Chicago. I honestly still don't believe that Chicago would have lost against the Vancouver Canucks if Ryan Kessler is healthy. Shoulder's a big part of your body, though, in terms of playing in the NHL. If your shoulder's gimp, forget the slap shots, forget hitting, forget playing physical. That whole intense stuff, out the window. But I don't know if Ryan Kessler is to be the all. I don't know if he's the difference maker. I truly don't think so. I think Chicago, just down the middle, that's a huge depth. That's a huge victory for the Hawks, I mean. That's something that Canucks have never had, is a big line center or just flat-out depth in center. They've never had it. But I don't know, if Kessler's healthy, I don't know if the Hawks have too much more of a difficult time with the Vancouver Canucks. I think the Canucks just had a problem with depth in terms of defense and skill. Yeah, Alex Burrows got 35 goals. That's great and grand, but didn't see it in the playoffs. Samuelson got real quiet. But anyways, the bottom line is that Chicago right now is clicking. Montreal has to get that speed game going again. Philadelphia, I don't see them not bouncing back. But Philadelphia's problem is Leighton, the backup goalie that's come in. Kudos to him. Great story and all that stuff. Okay, 29, 4th time he's been sort of called up and down by 4 different teams, I think. Great story. Love it. Love the city Philly. Love the Philadelphia Flyers as well. Huge Flyers fan when I was a kid. Hawks and Flyers are my favorite teams. Go Blackhawks, though. Flat out, go Blackhawks. Got no problems going against brotherly love, man. No problem whatsoever. The Hawks here, baby. Bottom line, though, Hawks have to play simple tonight at home, and that's the truth. The Hawks have to come out banging, they have to come out skating, they have to keep things simple. That first goal is huge. The Chicago Blackhawks have to get the first couple. If they get the first couple of goals here, San Jose is in a wind world of trouble, like massive trouble. Watching some of the highlights with the practice today with the Blackhawks, they looked like there was a good tone to the practice. It didn't look too loosey-goose. Quinville standing there with that sort of stern look that he can have, that demeanor. Hawks didn't look like they were too frolicky. They were taking this serious. There was a lot of serious looks on these guys' face. They know they've got to start winning at home. The Sharks, same thing. They were looking sort of, there was a demeanor that was a little serious looking. But I really was impressed just seeing that the Blackhawks on game skate day to day looking somewhat serious. That's good to see. I don't want the Hawks loosey-goosey in practice. I want the Hawks to be focused right now. Anyways, I'm Jason York. Thanks for watching the show. We might do a show after the game tonight. It's an early game on the Pacific time, so that game should probably be over by 8 o'clock. Go Hawks. I'm Jason York. And by the way, if you're watching the game at your buddy's place, having a few drinks, whether you're at your buddies or the bars, remember, folks, don't drink and drive. I'm Jason York. Thanks for watching.
If you're going to drink and drive while you're watching the game, take a cab. Game 3, Blackhawks, Sharks. Don Cherry always says Game 3 is the toughest. Buckle up, folks. You know what to do tonight, Patrick Kane, against the mighty Go Blackhawks. This guy gets scoring. The Hawks are unstoppable.